Corning is hosting an investor event today at the New York Stock Exchange to talk about updates to the company's ambitious Springboard plan to drive sales growth. Joining us right now is Wendell Weeks. Of course, he's chairman and CEO of Corning. Wendell, you were with us a year ago talking about the Springboard, what you have planned for the company. You've been delivering on all those plans, and I think you have an update to share with us this morning. How are things going?
You're going great. You're right. Good memory. We introduced our Springboard plan with you and Joe on the show about a year ago. Today, we're doing two things with that plan. First, we're upgrading our Q1 guidance, and then we're raising our Springboard plan targets to get to greater than $4 billion of incremental annualized sales run rate by the end of 26 and hit an operating margin target of 20%. So an upgrade all around.
So what happened? Why are you able to upgrade your expectations for this? What are you seeing?
Really strong performance from our innovations for Gen AI, solar, underpinned by strong performance in our display segment.
Let's dig through some of those, because when you were with us a year ago, you talked about how Gen AI really needed a lot of the developments that you were coming up with in fiber, and how you guys didn't kind of inundated with the things you'd been working on for years, kind of fell into this space where there was so much that was going into Gen AI and so much development in CapEx. There have been questions about a potential slowdown there, but that's not what you're seeing at all.
No, and to put it in perspective,
just in generative AI spending overall, whether there be a slowdown in CapEx spending because of DeepSeek.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, Mark Zuckerberg posted this great image of what his Louisiana new data center campus, million GPU data center campus, would look like overlaid on the island of Manhattan. And what his point was is the scale of it. It goes from 2nd to 85th Street and from 2nd to 9th Avenue. Now, we look at that and we say, yeah, that's big. But from our perspective, there's going to be 8 million miles of fiber in that campus. Now, to put that in perspective, 8 million miles.
How many times does that circle the globe?
Well, what it would do is we could take that same amount of fiber fitting here on a piece of Manhattan, and we could use that to connect every home in the entire state of New York. 5 million single-family homes with fiber to the home. And we've got to fit what would cover the state right into that campus. And that's led us to reinvent everything, make smaller fiber optic products, denser fiber optic products, all while improving their performance. And it is those new set of innovations that is driving this increasing demand. So
is Zuckerberg working with you directly on the fiber for this campus?
I cannot comment on my customers. I keep all of their secrets. But there would be a reason that I seem so interested.
And that you seem to be following so closely.
Yes.
So what else have you seen? I mean, that's the numbers that we've heard from Zuckerberg and from other big players. It did not sound, when we heard the quarterly results from these companies, like they were slowing down. All of them kind of said, yeah, we're still going full speed ahead on these things. You've been through situations in the past, though, because you've been at Corning for 40 years, is it?
40 years, yes.
Been in charge as the CEO for 20 years.
Yes.
And you've lived through these kind of boom times that disappeared in the past. Where you were a vice president in charge of the newly fiber optic plant, or division of the company, when we saw this euphoria. The company's market cap went to $100 billion and then collapsed because the spending wasn't there. Is this time different? What do you see?
Well, you're right, as Joe reminded me before we went on air. He remembered when both of us were young. We've been through a few cycles. I think it's made us wiser. I think the concern about Gen AI is well placed over the long term, because what you have to believe is that there will be business models that fundamentally revolutionize productivity for us all. In the near term, though, what comes first is infrastructure, before those models become powerful enough to change all of our lives. And so when I answer this question, I always ask, what time period are you concerned about? if you're looking at the next 2 years, all of my calls with customers are all about how much more they want. All right. So I think the next 2 years, which is what our plan is encompassing, I feel very positive about. Sort of after that, we have to start seeing these models make a compelling difference in people's lives.
And I pointed out just because NVIDIA is in a similar position. They have the chips that everybody wants. There's not enough to go around, the demand for that. But we've seen NVIDIA's fortunes rise and fall, not collapse, but super spike, and then maybe come back down from some of those super spikes. How do you avoid that sort of situation? I guess that's what the Springboard plan is about.
Well, first of all, I love being compared to NVIDIA. Right? Jensen's going to do about next 6 days. He's doing his GTC event, and I expect to see some great things out of that, including the touch on fiber optics. So I think that right now, an infrastructure is a safe bet from a demand standpoint. How Wall Street values that can go up or down, but everything we see continues to point to strong demand over this near term.